One of their first posts reads, Roberta and Chris Laundrie have been crucified in the public. I am friends with a close friend of Roberta who only had nice things to say about her. I asked a friend of mine, the executive producer of a news station, if he was interested in interviewing a friend of Roberta's. He gave her number to a couple of people at two very large news stations. Neither ever reached out to her. The media has chosen how to portray the couple by choosing what stories to run. Daily Mail recently published something saying that Brian dumped the body of Gabby in their story and then redacted it. Everything has been biased. They twisted Casey's words, which led to a large crowd gathering outside of her home screaming that Brian killed Gabby. Her young children were unaware of the situation and had learned about the death of their aunt and disappearance of their uncle in such a horrific way. I've heard some things about both Brian and Gabby that indicates that both were having life troubles. None of this in any way has any bearing on what happened with them. This page in no way whatsoever supports any bashing of Gabby. Speculation of Brian's guilt or innocence should not have any bearing on wanting the public to stop harassing his parents. This couple has lost a son too. I think that Brian is dead, and this couple can't even mourn the death or loss of their son in peace because of the public lynching that is taking place. There has been a lot of speculation out there, so let me tell you what I do know. Chris and Roberta kicked Brian out of their home in Long Island when they were having problems with him. That doesn't sound like the type of codependent parents that would help their son cover up a murder. Brian was cleaning up, and they let him and Gabby stay at their condo in Florida, which was used for the winter getaway in a retirement community. The older people in the community did not like that Brian and Gabby were living there. Chris and Roberta moved into the Florida house in November. At some point, while living in Long Island still, Roberta gave Brian her old Buick. She then didn't have a car to drive. That doesn't sound like a wealthy couple. Chris is estranged from his brother that has the yacht. That part of the family absolutely did not help Brian escape. Brian flew out to Florida to get his stuff out of the condo because his parents were paying for it and wanted to sell it. It was costing them money having their stuff there. That's where Gabby and Brian lived before the road trip. They didn't live with Brian's parents. Gabby's parents started asking about the kids on September 10th, Friday. I don't know if any calls even got through. I don't know where they got the numbers, and I expect they were mostly texting Brian until Saturday, the 11th. That's when they found out that Gabby was missing. I believe Brian told them he had a fight with Gabby and she stayed behind. Cassie accidentally alluded to this when she was asked about the van. She said, I assumed he flew home. That's what he always did when, oh wait, that's police stuff. Remember, the FBI told them not to say anything and had their lawyer cancel his press conference. I think she was going to say, when they had an argument, they separated. I think they reached out to a family friend, a lawyer, who said he would take care of it. Just send anyone to me. I'm sure they thought Gabby was fine. Sunday, the news broke. By Monday, Brian was gone. These aren't wealthy criminal masterminds. Roberta worked for a health department, and they are retired. They didn't kill anyone, and just like Cassie, I think they were as confused and in the dark as anyone in the beginning. And now they have to live with wondering where if their son is a murderer and fearing he is dead, while being publicly persecuted and told that they are accomplices. This page is for anyone who knows or supports Brian's parents as people who didn't have answers to give Gabby's family, and two elderly people, one of whom has had and has breast cancer, who hiked for 5 hours looking for their son and answers. Please leave them alone. Let the truth come out. Stop gathering on their doorstep. They didn't kill anyone. Let them grieve this tragedy in peace. 16 hours ago, they posted, "This is what happened. Please read carefully all details. The lawyer is talking now, and it will come out." Brian went home and told his parents that Gabby and he had fought. Cassie accidentally said it. That's what he always did, meaning take a break. When she was going to say fight, but the FBI told her don't say anything. They didn't want him to know she told them because they wanted him, if he was lying, to tell different stories to other people who could later testify as witnesses, but she messed up and said, "That's police stuff." So I think when they say him, they're referring to Brian, if Brian was lying. Gabby's dad did not go to the house. At 6:30 p.m. on Friday the 10th, they started texting Brian. They didn't have Cassie's number or the parents' number, so they're referring to when Gabby Petito's family was reaching out to them. I'll put a link in the comments that Gabby's dad never went to the house. They didn't have the number. Brian's parents found out on the 11th from the police that Gabby was missing, not dead. They called a family friend, a lawyer, who said, "Don't talk to anyone. Give them my number and I'll take care of it." So they did. Saturday the 11th, late in the afternoon, and Sunday they realized Gabby was missing and still thought Brian was telling the truth. The whole time he was home, before knowing she was missing, they thought she was with a friend. They shared the van. Gabby and Brian lived in their condo, not with them, and they shared the van. Nothing was unusual to them or to Cassie. It was just a couple taking a break. The lawyer is old like them. He doesn't use the internet. He is a very bare web page and advertises by word of mouth. Even Roberta's friend, who helps admin this page, is always getting confused who wrote something, using dictation to type, and is always accidentally hiding or deleting or hiding comments. Instead of banning people from the page, she would just block them from hers. LOL. A lot of older people don't understand social media and the impact of it on this case, and that was true for the Laundries and their lawyer. Brian was very private and didn't even have an IG until Gabby and the Laundries and their family are the same. This has been a nightmare for them. Sunday they were learning, like everyone else, the details on the news. Cassie was in Orlando at Disney with her kids when she found out from the police and left her vacation early. Everyone was thinking this has to be a mistake. She didn't even tell her kids about Gabby because they would ask questions that they didn't have the answers to. The protesters screamed, "Brian killed Gabby," so loudly that they found out in that traumatic way that their beloved aunt was dead and their hero uncle was missing. Monday, Brian took off during the chaos with the protesters. The parents realized it Tuesday and told their lawyer, who told the FBI. The local police did not find out or release it until Friday. They didn't see him leave. They drove to every spot until finding the Mustang at the reserve. Brian parked it in a way that he wanted to be found dead. But it rained that night and the next day flooded. They hiked looking for him one day for 5 hours, I think on Wednesday, and hours another day. His body was close to where he parked, but underwater. When he came home, they got him a new phone. He said he lost it. I think he destroyed it. They bought him a new one on their plan at AT&T. You buy a burner phone at Walmart. I've had several. Not at AT&T. If you're camping out, it's not unusual to lose or break a phone, and his parents thought nothing of it. The phone in his wallet was left behind. They knew he was dead and in the reserve with no phone. That's why they never tried to go on TV or find him. He possibly took his gun, and it'll probably come out that he died of hanging or self-inflicted gunshot wound. But that's my speculation. They took the car so it didn't get towed and have been knowing their son was probably dead this whole time. Their lawyer was going to give a press conference to clear them, but the FBI told him to cancel it. They reopened the park today, and yesterday they told their attorney they were going to look where they thought Brian is now, that they can search. The police met with them. Chris took the police through an area, and they zigzagged. He found a bag and 2 items. He whispered to Roberta, and they put the items in the bag because there was a reporter there. They gave it to the police. It was a white, dry bag that protects items from being waterproof. The police told Chris and Roberta to go home because they found something. It was Brian's backpack and his skull. They went home, and it was reported that the protesters were screaming, "Brian is rotting in hell," and they became emotional and broke down. This is what happened. I'm busy, but will try to answer any questions that are respectful. Anyone being nasty, go to the dozens of other pages for it. You'll be banned. Well, you know what they say, there's always 2 sides to every story. In this situation, there's like 20 sides. There's the police, the FBI, the media, the Laundries, people who claim to know the Laundries, the Petito family. So there's a lot of different stories being told. And I think that at this point, we're just going to have to wait to see what the FBI releases as far as any additional information to this case. And, I don't want to see anyone die of suicide. What I think most of us wanted was for Brian to be found alive, and so that the Petito family could get the answers that they were looking for. And also, if he was the one who committed this crime, to pay for it. And then I think the Laundrie family, I'm going to leave that one up in the air because we don't know if this is, in fact, a statement that's approved by them. That we're really not sure at this point. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys feel. Do you guys think that this is someone who is close to the Laundrie family? And if so, do you believe what they're saying? Do you think that this is, the actual events that had occurred during that time? All right, I appreciate you guys, and please hit the subscribe button to help support the channel. I would appreciate it. Until next time, stay blessed.